Nama Syafiza binti Samsudin. My metric number is 281157. I will be the first presenter to present about the definition of Qawaid Fiqhhiyah and Maqasid Syariah. Qawaid Fiqhhiyah is the method used by the mujtahid scholars in the proposal of fiqh to solve problems that are not mentioned in the Al-Quran and Al-Sunnah. Qawaid Fiqhhiyah are part of a specific science which falls under the category of fiqh. Qawaid Fiqhhiyah is the legal maxim related to ijtihad, which when there is no evidence that can be explained in the Al-Quran and Al-Sunnah for the laws of new events. Therefore, the existence of Qawaid Fiqhhiyah has made it easier for every Muslim because they can know the new laws on an event that is not explained in the Al-Quran and Al-Sunnah. Maqasid Syariah has been applied since the time of Rasulullah SAW and his companions. The word maqasid is terms of language carrying the meaning of holding, justice, and moderation. In other words, the terms refers to the meaning of objective, which carries meanings based on actual statements of or facts. Sharia is everything that has been common and revealed by Allah Subhanahu wa Taala to the Prophet Muhammad SAW and also human beings. Maqasid Sharia in general is the purpose that has been made obligatory by Sharia in setting a law to protect and safeguard the welfare of Muslims. Maqasid Sharia can also be seen and traced through the verse of the Quran, where every instruction and also the command of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala to Muslims will end with a description of the maslahah that needs to be fulfilled by mankind. The first category in the Maqasid Sharia is Daruriyat. Daruriyat means the basic needs that must be met by all human beings. Daruriyat is a benefit that must be fulfilled by mankind in order to establish the welfare of religion and the welfare of the world in a balanced way. Then, if these benefits do not exist, our life in the world will not run smoothly and we will lose the benefits in the hereafter. Under the Daruriyat, there are 5 sub-Sharia objectives, namely protection of life, protection of intellect, protection of progeny, protection of property, and protection of religion. Next, hajat is a necessary importance in human life, which is a human needs and desire. This is to protect human beings from hardship and eliminate difficulties that can bring hardship to human lives. However, the absence of hajat does not cause disruption in human life as the absence of daruriyah. However, it will provide difficulties in human life. An example is related to the sale and purchase of goods that have an element of gharar, that is uncertainty in sales, such as selling fish in the ocean or buying and selling without any explanation of the price. This element of gharar is haram and prohibited because it is for the purpose of protecting the interest of the buyer so that they can get their rights after making a payment. Next, tasniyat is the importance of the aspect of custom and also the protection of one's morals. This means every human being is required to adhere to good and noble morals. If this problem is lost, then it will cause human life to be bad from the point of view of reason. Although this tasniyat does not lead to difficulties of life such as the absence of daruriyah and hajat, nevertheless, it will lead to a bad life from the point of view of rational people. For example, in the matter of muamalat, Islam forbids any transaction that cause harm to oneself, such as drugs. Thus, in the Al-Quran, Allah has forbidden us to take or do something that can have a bad effect on ourselves.
Okay, hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Atira Munira binti Ahmad Asri and my matric number is 281213. Okay, as discussed before, which is related to Qawaid Fiqhhiyah and Maqasid Syariah, we can see that these two things are interrelated with each other. One of the purpose of Qawaid Fiqhhiyah or legal maxim is to preserve the benefits in the Maqasid Syariah, which consists of 5 important things, namely to protection of religion, life, intellect, progeny, and property. So, in this part, we will discuss more about the relation between Qawaid Fiqhhiyah and Maqasid Syariah. So, I will start first with the protection of religion. Protection of religions means avoiding from doing anything that could violate or destroy the foundation of the religion, which defends the country and the position of Islam as the official religion, and other religions can be practiced peacefully. Islam has become the core of Islamic civilization, and its adherents are responsible for defending the religion of Islam. Among the examples in protection the religion is Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala and Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam commanded Muslims to learn Islam and strengthen the faith and Sharia, such as prayer, fasting, and pilgrimage. Okay, the method of fiqh or legal maxim that can be associated with the preservation of religion is al-masyaqqah tajlibu al-taysir, which means hardship begets facility. Islamic law does not enjoin on human beings something that they cannot afford to do and something that can bring them into trouble. The meaning of the method of al-masyaqqah tajlibu al-taysir is that when there is a difficulty or hardship in fulfilling and implementing the command of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, the commandment is ease. Based on this method, all the law of rukhsah or relief in Islamic law are formed. For example, rukhsah in the obligation of perform prayers, such as jama and qasar for the travellers. Islam further simplifies the affair of its ummah by allowing jama and qasar prayers at certain prayer times, such as combining Zohar prayers with Asar and Maghrib with Isha. With this, our prayers will not be missed and the affairs of Muslim will be easier, and there is no need to worry if we miss the prayer times. So, with this method of fiqh, Muslim can still perform prayers perfectly by rukhsah that have been implemented. A person who keeps prayers, of course his religion is also taken care of and preserved.
Protection of life is one of the concepts that have been discussed by scholars in the framework of Maqasid Syariah. Protection of life is very important to ensure that every human being can continue their life on this earth and be able to carry out all tasks and orders to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Islam has placed life as the precious possession. This means that life is something of great value. Human beings does not have the right to end one's life because all beings deserve to attain the happiness of living peacefully. Therefore, it is our responsibility as human beings to preserve life so that we can avoid things that can cause harm to ourselves and others. Protection of life in the objective Maqasid Sharia has relation between to the legal maxim in Qawaid Fiqhhiyah, which is ad-darar yuzal, which means harm must be eliminated. Islam has opened the space of benefits and closed the space of harm to human beings so that human beings do not experience things that can give hardship and loss to themselves. Thus, in the Quran, we can find that the Islamic Sharia law is then to forbid something that can bring harm to oneself. However, It is then followed by a solution that can lead to benefit to mankind. When we are faced with a situation that can cause harm to ourselves, then at that point we are required to do illegal things. This is to protect our life. For example, a person has strayed in the forest and being in a state of starvation for not obtaining halal food to eat for a relative long period of time. So at that time, a person can eat haram food after he has made every effort to find halal food. The obligation to eat the forbidden food is allowed due to survive under extreme situation provided no other food is available. However, the obligation to eat this forbidden food is merely to relieve the situation in an emergency, and we are not inclined to do so unless the circumstances at the time compel it.
Okay, next I will explain about the protection of intellect. Protection of intellect means protection or keeping the human mind away from anything that can damage the mind. We must refrain from falling into things or elements that can destructive the intellect or mind. The examples are taking drugs, alcohol, and watching movies that can damage the mind, such as pornography, movies, or videos. So we must avoid from doing these things. One of the legal maxims that can be related to the protection of intellect is al-umur bi maqasidiha, which means acts are judged by intention behind them. When mention of minds, it involves two types of thinking, either positive or negative. If a person has a good intellect, of course the morals or personal traits that are highlighted are also of a noble nature. Okay, the reason why doing something is based on the intention is to keep the mind from doing things that are forbidden. Intentions and thoughts are interconnected with each other. For example, a person found a wallet that contains a lot of money in it, and in the wallet, it has the identity card of the owner. So, if he has a good intentions and a good mind, of course he will return the wallet to the original owner without taking any money that is in the wallet. If one's mind is not preserved, of course he will take the wallet and use the money for his own use. One example can be given is a drug addict. The individual who involved with this drug is someone who only cares about money to buy the drugs. Their minds have been affected and only think about how to get the goods, which is drugs, in any way, even if they have to rob, steal, and so on to get the money. And if these people who found the drug wallet, of course the money will be taken and used to buy useless items such as that drug. Thus, good morals or a rational person can guarantee a person's personality and behavior or actions. If he has a good intellect and mind, of course the deeds done are also good.
Hello everyone, my name is Erika Sari AL. My metric is 274719. In here I get the protection of the property and the suggestion. I want to talk about the protection of the property first. After that I will talk about the suggestion. Okay, let's get to move on to the protection of the property. In here first I want to talk about the protection of the property. If the protection of the property has been related with the legal maxim in Qawaid Fiqhhiyah, which is ada maqam amanah in Malay custom. Okay, in here we want to talk again. There are several forms of the inheritance based on the customary law. In here we want to talk about the first tagline about the customary law. So among the solution, scholars have accepted the masalah alternative to the solution to the imbalance between the rights solution from the right of the woman and the man in the division of the property. So in here I want to take a line, and this is to get the solution to the imbalance between the right of the woman or the man is the same in the division of the property.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Mukhtar Ali Yusuf and my matric number is 274852. So I'm going to continue my part, which is the protection of progeny. Protection of progeny is one of primary of Sharia. Anything that is going to harm or the progeny or lineage is prohibited in Islam. In order to protect the family, Islam prohibited adultery, any other shameful deeds, and whatever leads to these deeds. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الزِّنَا إِنَّهُ كَانَ فَاحِشَةً وَسَاءَ سَبِيلًا. Do not go near adultery, it's truly shameful deeds and evil way. The main purpose of prohibited adultery or zina is to protect the human lineage. In order to that, Islam encourages marriage and states its rules, restraint, and duties in perfect social system, which organizes the relationship between the husband and wife and among the family in general. The reason why Islam encourages marriage and defines its rules is to protect of of offspring or protection of lineage. Every kid ought to be given the opportunity to develop their personhood within the context, loving and supportive family. This is a must for this family in order to ensure that the children get appreciation, care, and growth opportunities. The direction is given in the Quran about how to settle agreement between spouses are another illustration of how the Sharia places in particular emphasis on the institution of the family. If you take care an orphan in this world, you will be rewarded with a reward that is comparable to living in paradise with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is because orphans are exceedingly valued in this world. That's all for me. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, in here I want to talk about the suggestion. This is last but not least. This is Dahria matter must. The suggestion about this is Dahria matter must take the precedence of the matter in the form of hajat and taksiyat. Therefore, is the parties involved must make decision in Islamic organization based on the understanding of the Maqasid Syariah and also the way of thinking based on the achievement of the masalah and refuse the arm. Okay, about the solution is suggestion about this part is first want to making a decision of the thinking based on the Sharia. This is give emphasis and also of the goal for something go through the right method. The goal of the legislation is to bring good and reverse harm to human life. This is we use the goal of the legislation of to bring good and reverse harm to of the human life, and in additional any harm and masalah are also measured through to the guideline and revelation and intellect and need to be to neutral. This is to help us. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. It's me again, Mukhtar Ali Yusuf. In conclusion, the term Maqasid al-Sharia refers to the foundational principles that try to maintain maslaha and avoid harm, encourage leniency in human interests and relationships, give solutions in desperate and emergency circumstances, and work to reduce the amount of bad and contentious practices. In addition, the term Maqasid al-Sharia refers to the guiding principles that try to protect maslaha and prevent damage Maxims of law may be applied to the modern commodities offered by Islamic financial organization. That's all for me. Thank you.